Dear friends, last episode we began discussing a very important question. Is there another life after this one? Does everything come to an end when a person dies? Or will there come a day when human beings are brought back to life and held accountable for their deeds? We try to understand that if this entire universe has a creator, then how can the purpose of human existence simply be to live for a few years, then disappear forever? Because a human being is not just a physical body. We have the ability to think, to reason and rationalize. We have awareness. We can distinguish between right and wrong. And above all, we constantly ask ourselves, who am I? Why am I here? What is the purpose of my life? Today, we'll look at this question from another perspective. Is resurrection really so difficult? Or are the signs of resurrection already present all around us? Let us continue this journey together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, who is one, the only one, whose mercy has no limits, no measure, and never comes to an end. My dear friends, if we observe the world around us carefully, we notice a remarkable reality. Nature is filled with examples where life appears to return after what seems to be its end. Think for a moment about barren land, dry land. For months, these may be for months. There may be no rain. The earth becomes cracked. Plants wither away. Everything appears lifeless. It seems as though no trace of life remains. Then the rain arrives. That same barren land absorbs the water. Within a short span of time, new plants begin to emerge. Greenery returns in its full form. The very land that looked dead is filled with life once again. Is this not a small example that unfolds before our eyes every single year? Now think about a tiny seed. It is placed into the soil. At first glance, it appears insignificant. But when it receives water and the right environment, that tiny seed grows into a living plant or tree. The plant or tree bears fruit. Inside that fruit are new seeds, and the entire process begins again. The very process that we witness every day quietly reminds us that life returning is not something strange or impossible. We harvest our crops. We pick fruits from the trees. Yet when the earth receives water, once again, new life begins to grow. Nature repeatedly shows us that every ending can become the beginning of something new. Now ask yourself this question. If dry or barren land can come back to life, then how difficult can it be for the Creator who gave life to human beings in the first place to bring them back again? My dear friends, now look at this entire universe, the sky above us, the stars, the planets, the countless galaxies, this magnificent system that continues to function with perfect order. Today, through science and technology, humanity is trying to understand this huge universe. We send satellites into space. We explore distant planets. We study stars and galaxies. Yet, one question still remains. If the Creator brought all of this into existence, could bringing back a human being really be so difficult for Him? think about it twice. Which is greater? Creating a human being again, or creating this vast universe? If there is a creator who brought into existence the heavens, the stars, the planets, and billions of galaxies, if he sustains this unimaginable system, unmeasurable system with such perfect precision, then how could resurrecting a human being beyond his power? Perhaps the real problem is not that resurrection is impossible. The real problem is that we often try to measure the Creator by the limits of our own understanding. We compare His power with our own. But the Creator's ability cannot be compared with human ability. And once we understand this, friends, the idea of the Day of Judgment becomes simple and logical to believe. Because if this world was created with a purpose, if human beings were given the ability to think, choose, and make moral decisions, if the desire for justice has been placed within every human heart, then it is only natural to believe that there will be a day when every person will be held accountable. In this world, we often see good people suffer more. And we often see those who choose injustice live more comfortable. If death is truly the end, if there is no accountability, then justice itself remains incomplete. What meaning would there be in truth and falsehood then? What value would goodness and evil really have? This is why resurrection and the Day of Judgment are not merely religious beliefs. They are ideas that naturally arise from human existence, the signs we observe in nature, and our deep longing for justice. Longing for justice. Every person is free to accept or reject them. But to dismiss them without reflection may mean overlooking one of the greatest realities of all. So today, we leave you with this question. If dry or barren land can come back to life, if a tiny seed can become a great tree, if this immense universe exists by the command of its creator, then why should the resurrection of human beings be considered so impossible? But this leads us to another important question. If resurrection is real, if human beings will indeed be brought back to life, then why do we not witness it with our own eyes? Why do we not see people returning to life after death? If this is such a fundamental reality, why is it not openly visible in our world today? This is exactly what we will discuss, friends, in the next week's episode. We'll try to understand why, if resurrection is real, we do not witness it directly in our day-to-day lives. We hope all of us will reflect on these questions, because sometimes the answers to the biggest questions are already before us or are around us. We simply need to learn how to see them and sense them. Thank you very much. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. And our final call is that all praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of all the worlds. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah be upon you all.